Whew, hot one today. Already sweating before I even start the video. Anyway, let's do it. Let me ask you something. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say you care if this is a good video or not? Probably it's maybe a 1, maybe a 2. If you've been watching my stuff for a little while, maybe it's even a 3 or a 4 because you like what I'm doing. But generally speaking, it's going to be on the low end of the scale. Now, if you ask me that question, how much do I care if this is a good video or not? I'm probably up on the other end, an 8 or a 9 or a 10, because frankly, I want to be liked and respected. I want to give out good value to the people who watch my content. So I have an attachment to this video succeeding, whereas you are completely detached from the outcome of the video at all. Hello, my friend, Daniel Midson-Short back again. And the reason I asked you that question to begin with is because it's a good example of what it means to be detached versus attached to an outcome in your life. Now, all of us have things in our lives that we really want to have happen. Maybe we have goals or aspirations. We have someone that we're attracted to that we hope to go on a date with. You know, there's something in our life where we would really desire something happening in a certain way. And what happens is, generally speaking, we get very attached to the outcome in that situation and we start to suffer as a result. In contrast, there are other things in our lives where we actually just don't care what happens. Something where we're not attached to the outcome, we're not worried about the result that we get. And in those things, they tend to come to us more easily. You might have noticed this in your own life. So that's why I wanted to create this video, to share the ideas that I've learned that can help you in practical ways to detach from the outcome, whatever it is, in business, in life, in relationships, and help you to actually get more enjoyment and achieve the result you want in an easier way. Now, I want to say this is not some magic formula. You know, as soon as you detach from the outcome, everything's just going to work for you. But what you will find is that things flow to you a lot easier when you don't have that obsessive attachment. So it's important to recognize the difference there, that things will just come to you in an easier way over time versus struggling for them and torturing yourself for a result and probably not getting exactly what you want anyway. So a long, long time ago, Buddha said that the root of all suffering is attachment. And this is a pretty profound statement. When you think about it, all the things in your life that you are not happy with, that you're frustrated with, that you're dejected about, generally speaking, you're attached to some sort of ideal or outcome or result that you would really like in your life and you're not getting it. Whereas if you start to detach from things in your life, like I said earlier, you don't care about something, you don't have any kind of emotional connection to it. There's no investment, and therefore you're not worried at all whether something works or it doesn't work, and you're kind of at peace with it. One of the things I've noticed is, as an achiever or an actualizer in life, it can be very difficult to detach from outcomes. And this is because we're goal-oriented, we're aspirational, we want to achieve specific things in our lives by a certain date. We all know that kind of feeling. And the problem is that when we don't achieve something exactly like we hoped we would on schedule or on target, we get kind of frustrated and angry, or we get dejected about the situation. And that starts to lower the quality of our life because emotionally we're feeling bad about ourselves or our circumstances. And this is a little bit of a trap, because the more you want to develop and improve yourself, the more you want those results in life, the more you have a tendency to attach to those results and to cause yourself discontent. Now, before I get into the specific tips about how to detach from the outcome in your life, I want to explain what I believe attachment looks like in your life, because we all kind of have felt it at certain times, but there are different behaviors that we really display when we become too attached to a particular outcome. So the first one is the most obvious, as I've said already. It's being dependent on a specific outcome, wanting something to succeed or to happen in a very specific way. And what this leads to is the second type of attachment, which I call idealizing or fantasizing. And this is where you tend to focus on things being perfect or being ideal, having some sort of perfect outcome, kind of like the storybook ending. That's what you're looking for in your life. And the last one is that you tend to put all your eggs into one basket, meaning you only focus on one situation working out perfectly, and you don't consider the idea that things could work out differently and they could still be ideal for you. So those three kind of behaviors, those three things tend to be what will hold you back, and they will be the things that cause you suffering and frustration in your life. So let's talk a little bit about some of the tips that we can use to reduce the amount of detachment that we have in our lives and to actually feel better about ourselves in our everyday lives as we're trying to achieve our goals. So the first way that I have learned to detach is to go back to basics and to realize that you need very little in your life. Now, if you think about it, realistically, there's only probably 4 things that you need in your life: air, water, food, and sleep. Everything else in your life is a nice to have. Now, of course, we need relationships, we need security and shelter, and we need a sense of purpose purpose, we need all those things in our lives. But in reality, if you go down to the basis level of our existence, there's not a lot of things we really truly need. And I think sometimes it's good to remind yourself of this, because when we're trying to achieve something, we're on the path to success in our own lives, there is a tendency to kind of think that we need more than we actually have. We get very attached to the ideal of having something more in our lives. And this can kind of make us frustrated or not appreciate what we already have. So whenever I get this sense that I'm starting to attach to a goal or an ideal or something I want in my life, the first thing I do is remind myself that I actually need very little to survive in my life. I have all the basics already, and because I have those, I'm in a powerful position to actually grow and develop more when the time is right. The second idea that has helped me to detach from the outcome is learning to focus on the process and the skills in life. Now, what I mean here is that very often there's a tendency to, as I said, focus on the outcome, the ideal that you want to happen in a certain amount of time or in a certain way, and we forget about the process. We don't enjoy the journey, and we don't focus on the skills that we're developing along the way. Now, I have noticed this in my own career as a professional speaker. I wanted to get on bigger stages, I wanted to speak in front of larger audiences, have higher profile speaking gigs, but what I realized was that if I just focused back on the process of becoming a better speaker, actually improving my skills and trying to do the very best job that I could as a speaker every single time, that I tended to naturally attract more of those opportunities to speak to larger and larger audiences. If I just obsess about getting on big stages and trying to be as famous as I can as a speaker, that actually reduces my ability to focus on my skills and to focus on the process, which will get me there over the long term. So I'm sure there's something in your life where you're trying to work on a goal or something that you're trying to improve in your life. And if you get stuck just on the outcome and you forget about the process, the skills that you need to actually achieve the goal, you'll find that it will start to limit you. So I would say, think about it in your life. What is it that you need to focus on in terms of process or in terms of skills that will actually help you to slowly move towards the outcomes you want versus trying to get them immediately? And the third idea that has really helped me to learn to detach from the outcome is not waiting for results to be happy. And this is crucially important in any part of life. If you are waiting on a particular outcome or situation to happen before you decide to be happy or fulfilled, you're never going to be happy or fulfilled. I promise you, I've achieved a lot of goals in my life, and it's exciting for a day or a week or a month, but then soon after I'm back to my natural set point of happiness and I'm looking towards the next thing. There is a tendency, as I said earlier, as actualizers and achievers, we're always trying to improve in some way, but we fall into this fallacy of thinking that once I get this thing or once I achieve this level of success, then I'll be happy, then I'll be fulfilled, then I'll be complete. But the reality is we're never going to be complete. We're always on the path, and that path, that journey, is what we should be viewing as our happiness. The more you are in the process, the more you are actually enjoying the journey and the development that's happening to you, and you find happiness in that, the better you will attract more to yourself than if you just obsess about being happy once you get your outcome. And the final idea that I'd like to leave you with today is this concept that detachment is a practice. It's not an outcome, it's not a level of achievement, it's actually a practice that you go through every single day. Same as brushing your teeth or tying your shoes or getting ready for your day for work or whatever it is. It's a practice that you do that helps you on the path to achieving what you want. The more you get used to having the reaction of detachment as your initial way of thinking and reacting to situations, the better you will find life flows to you, people are more attracted to you, and you have a higher level of happiness and fulfillment in your life. So if you like this video, please leave a like below and leave a comment sharing your experiences with detachment, how it's helped you in your life, or how you're trying to detach from outcomes in your life at the moment. And as always, if you like what we're sharing here, please consider subscribing and becoming part of our community. We'd love to have you with us. My name is Daniel Midson-Short. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, thank you for improving yourself. Whew, nice and sweaty. All right, time to put on the AC.